How many Irishmen does it take to change a light bulb? Nobody fucking knows. The drunks keep falling off the ladder. I'm Socrates Fool. You can call me the Fool. Welcome, if you're here. It's not like I got a lot of views. Hell, I got 4 subscribers. No idea who they are. I think I've had them for a long time. They might even be dead. But haven't seen any views on anything just yet, and that's all right. I'm making this stuff, like I said, more for me than for anybody else. So when and if anybody finds this channel and decides to watch me, it's groovy. Until then, I'm just going to keep making videos. Excuse me. 128. 128? 128, 2020. My God, it's my grandfather's birthday. He's been dead some years, but he made it to 101. Pretty incredible. Old guy smoked cigars, chewed tobacco, drank bourbon and beer, ate fried foods. Told a friend of mine once that he ate bacon every morning. My grandpa was great. I loved him. Taught me how to play cribbage. I think he made up the rules as we went along at first. But nah, that's nothing. I love Grandpa. He was great. Had a long run. I think that says a lot about DNA versus preservatives. Preservatives, man, they're fucking up everything. You know, you get to thinking, well, I'm just going to go vegetarian and eat organic. Doesn't mean shit. You don't know what's in anything anymore. It's all a bunch of crap. Something I heard yesterday that I thought I'd throw out there. I know I mentioned in a previous video that Margaret Sanger was the person who started Planned Parenthood, and she was an incredible racist bitch, and she invented Planned Parenthood to decrease and keep down the black population, and that's the truth. I found out something yesterday along these lines that Bill Gates' daddy was her partner. They co-founded Planned Parenthood. Isn't that strange? Bill Gates' daddy. Now, that's strange in a couple of ways. One, first off, the Gates Foundation, him and Melissa or whatever her name is, going around vaccinating people all over the world. I wonder if he thinks the same way his dad does. Let's get rid of some of these useless eaters. You know, I've heard stories about that for quite a while, and I'm beginning to think that's more than true. I don't trust Bill Gates either. I don't trust any of these motherfuckers. They have a fucking agenda. They want to take over the fucking world. They want us, useless eaters, to be something I've said for years. Slavery is not gone. It's just changed by definition. No longer do they have the plantation where they have to feed you and house you and give you firewood and give you clothes. Nah. They got rid of all that shit. They just pay you enough of a wage to get by so that you can buy your own clothes, your own housing, your own food. And they don't have the responsibility of it all. But can you get ahead? How many people actually do? Quite a few people do get ahead. But what is ahead? What is getting ahead? Of course, in terms of our society today, getting ahead is going so far in debt that most people are living month to month, if that. A lot of people are living week to week. Yeah, going in debt to have a bunch of toys, a bunch of technology, a bunch of the new this and that, that's not getting ahead, man. That's going far behind. My grandpa didn't believe in credit. He didn't like it. He said you pay cash for stuff. I never understood that. See, at that time, when I was a little kid, I used to think, well, credit was around forever. Everything's always been credit. I just thought it was the norm on how it worked. I didn't realize credit cards had only been around since like the I almost said Civil War, World War II. All right, so it didn't dawn on me until now. I'm getting to be an old man, and I'm looking back, going, yeah. And when we're finding out more and more of the research I've done. Uh, uh, and videos I've seen about the monetary system, the fiat system, I mean, it's mind blowing. Um, Change for Truth, good video, good documentary. Watch it. It'll explain the whole monetary system if you don't already know. And as I've said, the Federal Reserve, our central bank, it's not federal, and there is no reserve. They just print money as they need to. Right now, they're printing billions and putting it into the what's called the repo market, which is the money that banks lend to each other overnight. I know. Is that bugging you, that little light in my glasses there? Sorry about that. I see that myself. We'll see what I can do about that. All right. Whatever. Like there's somebody out there watching. Okay. So they just print money at will. All right. That's possibly, I think, up for change pretty soon. The whole world economy is pretty shitty right now. But there we go, off on a tangent. I was talking about Bill Gates, his dad, foundation, vaccines, all bad stuff. And voted on the same agreement. Okay, let's talk about the impeachment a little bit, since that's going on today. Man, it was enjoyable today. I watched it. It's great. It's the Republicans' turn. It's Trump's team's turn. And they are coming out with shit. And it don't take long. I think I said in my last video that the Dems presenting their case for 4 days. They could have just taped day one and replayed it in 3 times the next 3 days, just taking time off. It's just completely ridiculous, I mean, it was the same shit every day, the same bullshit, no facts, all lies, innuendos, and half-truths. Pretty ridiculous. Well, the Republicans came out, Trump's team came out today, and man, for every 2 hours worth of crap the Democrats put out there, they shot it down in 15 minutes. It's funny how the truth and facts and realness can bullshit. I mean, you can't bullshit the truth. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. When you tell a lie, you have to tell it over and over and over again. The truth, you just need to say a few times and people get it. I see some nasty futures coming up for some of these Democrats. And if you're not familiar with the QAnon, the cabal, the deep state, I've talked a little bit about it. I'll talk more about it soon. And here and there, every day I talk about it, I guess. Look out for Q. Look up Q if you're not familiar with the QAnon. iPod, In Pursuit of Truth, is one of the best places to go for information as far as I'm concerned. There's others I watch, interviews and stuff. X22 is another good one. Red Pill's all right. He's a bit of a hipster, but yeah, whatever. I still haven't figured out completely. I haven't figured him out completely just yet. I'm still a little bit, but he's got good information. Amazing Polly. I paused in her latest video to go ahead and make this one before dawn hit, and her latest video is incredible on explaining how the Matrix basically is coming to life, and she's explaining it step by step, technology, how different things, and what she's saying, you can just look around you and see. I know it sounds nuts, but this is very interesting. Check out Amazing Polly. I think every once in a while, wow, you can't blow my mind anymore. There's just so much bullshit. I've seen it, nothing would surprise me. What she's reporting is pretty mind-blowing. Check out The Amazing Polly. This chick, she does a hell of a lot of good work on research. So I forgive her for being Canadian. Eh? Yeah, that's life. It's just a joke. I love Polly. I told her that a few times. I hope I didn't scare her. Polly, if you ever see this, hey, I ain't so bad. All right, so those are people to listen to and watch, and check out things. But as far as this impeachment goes, basically they're trying to sell you this quid pro quo thing, and what that means is, if you're not familiar with it, it's pay for play. You do this, I'll do that. Blah blah blah. They're saying Trump, that it was quid pro quo, that he wanted Zelensky to look into the Bidens, otherwise he wasn't going to give him all these missiles and things. Well, on one hand, I heard an argument today that said what's good for the country may or may not be good for the politician. And if it's not good for the politician, but it's good for the country, they got to do it anyways. And if it's good for the country, but happens to be good for the politician also, that's just fucking politics, man. So that's one way to look at it. The other way is, and this is something I've been saying for a while, quid pro quo is diplomacy. That's how the State Department works. You don't get nothing in life, let alone in international diplomacy. You don't get nothing for free. It's all a give and take. Why do you think they're always sending people over here to negotiate and over there to negotiate a contract? And that's what it's all about, man. So you think about it, quid pro quo. That's the way it works. Diplomacy works, and if it's good for the country, it may or may not be good for the politician. Who cares? It's good for the country. So, that's something else to think about. All right, they keep referring to the last three big impeachments that happened, presidential impeachment, starting with Johnson after Lincoln, the president after Lincoln. Johnson was impeached on a crime. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was bullshit anyways, because 58 years later, they determined that the crime as listed was unconstitutional. Luckily, he got off, so it didn't matter anyways in that respect, but he didn't get impeached. But still, there was a crime. It was a crime, even though it was a stupid crime. It was a crime. Then you got Nixon. His crime was the cover-up, the conspiracy. It got to a point with Nixon that basically he had no support left in the Republican Party. That's why he resigned. He was going to be impeached. But he was brought up on crime. Clinton was brought up on a crime. And the crime was lying, perjury. It was about, screwing some stupid-ass chick who, God, some of the women Bill Clinton finds attractive, I just can't understand. But, hey, that's me, Some people don't find me attractive. Can't understand that either, but that's life. He lied about an affair. So, all right, yeah, lying was a crime, but it was over this bullshit. I think it was stupid, the impeachment of him, but it was still about a crime at the time. There is no crime in the Trump impeachment. There's no anything, not just a high crime or misdemeanor. Treason, bribery, high crimes or misdemeanors of a high nature. There's got to be crime. Well, there doesn't have to be a technical crime. Yes, Alan Dershowitz explained it very well. I've learned a lot just watching the Trump team in the last 2 days. Learned a lot of, I mean, it's been a lesson on the Constitution and on impeachment. It's been very good. Because, these guys aren't lying. They don't need to. The truth fights the lies from Schiff and Nadler and Pelosi and Schumer and a host of other cocksucking assholes. Johnson 58, Trump, vote on. Another funny thing that I heard. Nadler, Jerry Nadler, that little fucking Oompa Loompa motherfucker. I see that fucker offing himself before he goes to prison. He would not do well in prison. And just look at him, he's ready to keel over any time. But all this bullshit about the arms and all that, he actually was like one of 4 people that voted against supplying this shit to the Ukrainians in the first place. And now here he is trying to impeach the president on bullshit for not delivering it on time, basically. Holding it back, quid pro quo, diplomacy. Nadler's a little cuck. He's bound for prison, but I honestly think he'll off himself first. He's too much of a pussy. So, let's see. Oh, well, there was a good one. Adam Schiff comes out and says, I heard today from some Republican insiders, he said this over the weekend, that the president has told the Republicans if they don't support him and vote against impeachment, their heads will be on a pike. And then he immediately said, I don't know if this is true. This is what I heard. It's a good way to throw something out there with no source whatsoever, no anything. Just an accusation. And a filthy, dirty accusation. And that's Schiff. That's how the whole thing has gone with Schiff. Pelosi, at the beginning of this, I was trying to remember this the other day. Pelosi said impeachment needs to be compelling. Well, it's not very compelling. It needs to be overwhelming. It's overwhelmingly without proof and facts and everything else, basically. It needs to be bipartisan. It is not bipartisan. Not one Republican voted for impeachment, though you had a Democrat vote against it, 2 of them, I think, and one of them actually left the party over it. And you had an independent vote against it. So this is by far not bipartisan. So she's just a lying piece of crap bitch anyways. And then the pens, she gets these incredibly expensive pens. I've heard everything from $1,500 to $15,000 a pen, whatever. Signs the way a president would, an important contract, a bill or treaty or something. One letter at a time with each pen, and then hands out these pens. That's a celebratory thing. And so they're celebrating the impeachment. Don't let them tell you this is solemn. This is such a solemn. I pray for Nancy Pelosi. I pray for the president. Yeah, you pray for him to get his ass kicked by you guys. Nancy Pelosi missed. Oh, that was so great the other day, and 2 weeks ago or so in that press conference, when one of the guys says, "Why do you hate, or do you hate the president?" And she comes storming back in, and she was leaving when he shouted it out. I was raised in a Catholic household. I don't hate anybody. It's funny. She was raised in a Catholic household, yet she's for abortion. I mean, do they not realize how hypocritical they sound to begin with? Nancy Pelosi's a bitch, and she is going down too. I'm not just saying this. You watch, it's coming. What do you think Barr and Durham and Huber are all investigating? A lot of these fuckers are going down. Let me see, do I have anything else? Tom Fitton rocks. If you don't know about Judicial Watch, check it out. This motherfucker has gotten more information out to the public about what's going on than anybody else, which is good. You don't want to hear any leaks from Barr and Durham and Huber, and you haven't. But Tom Fitton is getting a lot of stuff out there because of the Freedom of Information Act. This motherfucker, Judicial Watch. Watch and subscribe to Judicial Watch. He's a little dry, but he is kicking ass. Tom Fitton rocks. Thank you, Tom. Coronavirus, we'll talk about later. This has already gone 20 minutes, and I don't want to get too much more into it. Quid pro quo. Hey, Nadler, what a little cuck. He's going to do it. Tom, Bill Gates. Looks like I got everything here. Excuse me. So, we're at about 20 minutes. I only got a couple more minutes. All right, I started with a joke that I made up, that Irish one. I like it. Here's one that most people don't get. I also made this one up, and see if anybody gets this one. I used to work in a kitchen, so, I'm familiar with things like prosciutto ham, which is an Italian ham. And so my question is, does prosciutto ham come from guinea pigs? I'll let you think about that one. Anybody got an answer? Anybody actually hears or sees this? Leave a comment. I wouldn't mind hearing that. Like or dislike, I don't care. Leave a comment. Anything, good or bad, I don't care. Subscribe, I don't care. Come back, I appreciate that. I'm not making money on this. It's not monetary. I'm not going to ask you for money, and I'm not going to sell you merchandise. I just got nothing else to do early in the morning, and I believe the truth should be free, and I'm going to try and bring the truth whenever I get on here. The truth, I can try. That's all I can do. If I tell it to you, I believe it to be the truth, such as this. God's gift to mankind. This is God's way of saying, hey, take the afternoon off. Stop and smell the indica. You'll dig it. I do. Everybody must get stoned. Bob Dylan was right. I'm Socrates Fool. You can just call me the Fool. I'm getting out of here. Enjoy your day. This is Tuesday, 1/28/2020. Watch the impeachment. It's fun to watch the Republicans destroy the Democrats. I'll be digging it today all day long. So long. Have a good afternoon, a good day, good evening. Talk to you tomorrow. Take a good hit. Hold it as long as you can. The less smoke you blow out, the more THC you've absorbed. You got a cough to get off.